Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another movie review. Um, for this movie review, this is a particular film, but I've been asked to review a couple times. You know, I know some left in the in the comments. They told me to I should review this film. Especially one person in particular, Queen Queen of Evil Dead. Also told me to review this film, and a couple of other people as well. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to finally review the film, and I'm reviewing Walt Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Empire. And this is the special 2-disc edition right here I got here. There's the first disc, and then here is contains the second disc. And the Atlantis Lost Empire was a film that came out in the summer of June 2001. Limited June 5th, wide release June 15th, 2001. Now with this film, how should I put it? Well, overall, I really do enjoy the film. Put that way. But the thing is though, now this also came at a time where Walt Disney had with their animated films weren't doing that well. Like from the year 2000 starting all the way up to I would say about 2004, I think. Their animated films haven't been doing that well. Like Emperor's New Groove, this film, Home on the Range, and Treasure Planet. They haven't been making that much money though. So it was a time that the animated films have been doing that well. Well, I enjoy those other films as well, but I don't see how the film like this can be like making that much money. I mean, well, I'll get to that in a second though, but I really do enjoy the film Atlantis, The Lost Empire. It was a very well made animated film, and it's another well done animated film. And the film now the film it was given mixed reception though, but has a high 6.79 dB, which I think is too low. I think it could be more higher. But it has a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think that's way too low for this film. It deserves a lot more higher ratings. And while the film gets a lot of praise for its animation, which I have nothing to say because I think I'll say it's a well done animated film. The film didn't do, like I said, didn't do that exactly that well. It wasn't that big of a hit. It was considered a box office disappointment. Like as a budget of 120 million, made like 84 million in the U.S., but overall made 186 million. Yeah, it made more money overseas, but they consider disappointing because it didn't do that well in the U.S. Sadly, which I understand why, but it's because that's why they considered somewhat of a box office disappointment because the film didn't do that well in the U.S. But a lot of people praise the animation, which I always say it's a good thing. Even Roger Ebert, from Cisco, Roger Ebert, he also praised the film as well. Where did he say right here? He gave the film a 3.5 out of 4. He praised the animation. Says the clean, bright, visceral look, and the classy energy of a comic book style. And he said he gave this particular praise to the story and the final battle scene. He said the story of Atlantis is arousing in old pulp science fiction in a sort of way. The climactic scene transcends the rest and it stands by itself as one of the great animated action sequences. Which I would do agree. You know, it was a really good. The action sequences I thought was good. He even also said when did his on his show, you know, with those videos he did with Gene Siskel, you know, the show, you know. He also said also with in the video with him with the other critic, Richard Roper, I think was his name. What his name was, you know, when they were talk about the film, he said also that Roger Ebert was also saying that the sequence, the later sequences were absolutely amazing. Underwater battle used fantastic imagery, created a truly thrilling clash of titan. Isn't just for family audiences, but it's also for action fans as well. You know, he gave this film a lot of praise. You know, and I can definitely see why. You know, the film, it's a well-made animated film. What more can I say about it? But also the voice cast did a really good job. You know, you got it stars the main star of Milo Thatch, voiced by Michael J. Fox. He did a really good job in the film. He's a grandson of an explorer who was also looking for Atlantis. You know, his grandfather. He was you know he gets mocked up for searching for Atlantis, you know, but he gets asked by this billionaire named what was the other guy's name, Whitmore, Mr. Whitmore, you know, and he wants him to find, because he knew he was with his grandfather to help trying to find the city, you know, which he helped find the book, this journal, to help to find the city, you know, and he has have a crew and everything, and a ship to go to, because he has everything set, you know, to take him as he gets him to his Milo along to go along, you know, and which is this ship right here, you know. And so he agrees to it, and he has all the crew members. Everything is ready to go, you know. Introduced to the crew members, you know, like you have to get the Commander Rourke, voiced by James Garner, you know, who's now no longer with us, but James Garner as Commander Rourke. Is also the female Helga, voiced by Claudia Christian. And the other crew members, you have Vincenzo, or Vinny as his name, voiced by Don Novello, or which when he does comedy, he's also a Father Guido Sarducci, you know. Because he does a voice, you know, he does the comedic role, he does Father Guido Sarducci, you know. How would that, if anyone knows who that guy, who the character he plays, you know, for he does comedies, you get what I'm saying, you know. Even when he does his voice, you can tell that's the same voice what he does in this character, you know. But that's what he voice. He's the demolitions expert. You know, who always carries all these explosives, you know, and you know, a doctor named Sweet, voiced by Phil Morris. A teenage girl named Andre, who's the mechanic, you know, and was the mole, you know, who was the geologist, you know. Corey Burton does the voice of him. There's also this old lady named Packard, who smokes up the film, you know, who's the radio operator. And of course, now you have the cook named Cookie, you know, who's voiced by Jim Varney, you know, Ernest himself, you know, voices, you know. And this is the last film that Jim Varney did before he passed away in the year 2000, you know. So yeah, with this film this came out in 2001, you know, and he voiced Cookie in this, you know, and he did not live to see the film, you know, to see this film, you know, because he passed away in 2000, you know, which is sad, you know. It's like because I like Jim Varney. He was always such a funny guy, you know. Especially everybody probably a lot of people liked him when he did Ernest, you know. And of course, he also voiced Slinky in Toy Story 1 and 2, you know, but not number 3 because he was dead for those before they did Toy Story 3, you know. So, but he only voiced Slinky in the first 2 films, you know. So that this was the last film that he did when he passed away in the year 2000, you know. There was a funny scene where Helga was talking, you know, about all the food to carry on, you know. He's like, what is all this stuff, you know, cinnamon, oregano, cilantro. What is cilantro, you know? And what is it? Lettuce. It's a vegetable, you know. As Helga's talking, men need the 4 basic food groups, and he says, I got your food groups: beans, bacon, whiskey, and lard. Jim Varney did a good job for his last film, you know. May he rest in peace, you know. So they have everything, all the people that are ready to go, and then they all dive down, it was kind of like how the submarine, you know, it's weird how it looked like you played looked like the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, you know, which Roger Ebert also mentioned in that video, you know. In his review saying like 20,000, he mentioned 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, you know, which I could definitely see because the ship sort of does look like the Nautilus from the movie, you know, the one that starred Kirk Douglas, you know, the live action 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, you know, with Kirk Douglas, how the look of the Nautilus looked, you know, kind of looked like that, so it kind of looked like a nod to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, you know, but searching for Atlantis, you know. So they're on their way. They're on their way, you know, and Milo is talking where looking at the directions where to find the lost city, you know. But they hear something over the radio, which is a loud noise, which is called leviathan. It's this giant it's like a giant lobster, but it's a machine, you know. It's supposed to guard the city of Atlantis, you know. So they get attacked by, you know, and they try to get like mini subs, and start shooting torpedoes at it. It doesn't do any good, you know. The thing fires this laser beam at them and destroys the ship, you know. So everyone abandons the ship, you know. A lot of people dying, you know, for this thing, you know. Does has some you know, you get people killed, you know, you get people dying in this film, you know, the sailors, you know, when the ship gets destroyed, you know, everyone's trying to escape in the subs, you know, other sailors die in the subs when the thing starts hitting them, you know. Okay, some probably pretty ballsy stuff, you know, having people die in this, you know, which is things how the way that Disney does, you know, not in like gruesome ways, but just, you know, like, get the idea. You see explosions, you know, subs explosions, you know. And for those who wonder what I'm eating, it's just a Pop-Tart, you know. For those who wonder what I'm eating, you know. So they get into this underwater cave, you know, which is said in the book, you know, where how Milo describes it, you know. So they get their vehicles, trucks, you know, start moving towards the city of Atlantis on the way, you know. They get stopped a couple times, but they manage to pull through. And then when they're camping, you know, like put into the same tents, you know, at least that. Well, first they don't treat Milo as good though, but they're starting to they start being more nice to him, you know, like they're sitting around the fire, you know, and cooking, you know, cooks them this glop, you know, which they don't like to eat, but well, Mole likes to eat the stuff though, but a lot of people don't like to eat the stuff though, but so as I say on the tents, they start talking about each character starts talking about each other, you know, like a Vinny, he said he wants to open he wants to open a flower shop because his family had a flower shop and like something happened and the place went kaboom, you know. or where Sweet tells us how his father married an Indian. His mother was an Indian. You know, he had all this this necklace of the Indian stuff. You know, and he went to medical school when he got drafted. You know, or well, Andrea, you know, she like her father wanted to have boys, though, but they had two. She also has a sister, so two daughters. One, so each one would be a mechanic, and one would be a boxing champion. You know. Other ones in which Milo explains more about his grandfather after his parents died. He treated his grandfather was like a father to him. You know. Got hooked onto this Atlantis stuff. You know. So as when there are these fireflies, you know, they start a swarm of them. They start setting the tents on fire, you know. So they all try to go causing everything's causing explosions. The cars are exploding, you know, and they try to get across this stone bridge, but it collapses and everyone falls down. But everyone is still safe, you know. The vehicles are safe, are still working, you know. But Milo get thrown off some distance away, but then he meets the Atlanteans, you know, who are still alive, you know, because from which I skipped the opening of the film, but I'll get to I'll get to that though. But they get the most of the massacre, that is the prince of the princess, you know, Princess Kita, you know. She uses each Atlantean carries like a crystal, you know, and she sees that he's wounded like right here, you know, uses the crystal to heal him, you know. But they both run off and he chases after them until everyone catches up to him and they find the lost city of Atlantis. So, and they see them they come again. They start speaking in their own language, which they said they created. Look, they said that the language that was created for the film. Like I said, that they wanted to create a different language, like this guy Mark Orkran, who developed the language for the Klingons for the Star Trek films. He wanted this guy to get to create their own language for the Atlanteans, you know. So they start speaking, and Miles starts translating back, which they know, since they're advanced civilizations, they know that they speak a different languages like French, Italian, you know. And one for instance, Mole, you know, is like, oh, the French, which knows the French language, you know, that's my language. And he tells Kita's like, pardon me. He starts whispering in her ear, and she goes and punches him, you know, which we probably get the idea of what he was thinking though. So Kita goes and punches him, and it was like, oh, that was good. And we're waiting for someone to punch him, you know, what Andrea said, you know. And Sweet was like, Andrea and Sweet were like, oh, thank goodness somebody punched him, you know. So they take him to the city, you know, and which Akita takes take Milo and the others to her father, the king, voiced by now the late great Leonard Nimoy, you know. Leonard Nimoy voices the king, Kita's father. He said that tells her that they don't allow visitors, you know, but they shouldn't be here, you know. But he knows what they want, you know. But they say they want to stay one night, so he allows them to stay one night, you know. And Milo and Kita, they start asking questions, like Milo asks her how did they end up to the bottom of the ocean inside this volcano, you know, underneath the volcano, you know. And she explains that what happened during the opening of the film started with the people in Atlantis, you know, and there's this big tidal wave coming, you know, and everyone starts running, you know, until Kita's mother, you know, or the crystal here starts glowing, her eyes start glowing because the crystal above, you know, pulls her up and takes her, you know, and they use it for the form of a shield around Atlantis and how it's sunk to the bottom of the ocean, you know. But and she also shows him like the one of the flying vehicles they had, you know, like she knew how to start them, but she left out one minor detail, you know, but by keeping the hand on the thing, and it's just wonder how fast it goes, and it goes off really fast, you know. So this she wants to know, but she wants to know why. She shows him the he shows her the book, you know, and she says, but she looks like she can't read, you know, for some, I think, you know. So he starts translating, and she starts speaking it, you know. But he's also mentioned that there was like a page missing, you know, out of the book, you know, explain about the heart of Atlantis, you know. So they decided to go swim underneath them where this big giant stone, you know, that explains more about the heart of Atlantis, you know, and he translates it, you know, and the heart of Atlantis is the crystals, you know, which it keeps the people alive, you know, and the city of Atlantis alive, you know. So as they head back, you know, then he sees that Rourke, then and everybody has guns, you know. So he knew what's going. He's like, he's such an idiot. I'm such an idiot, because he knew what they were doing. You know, they were here for the crystals, you know, to make money, to get rich, you know. And Rourke, he had the torn page explaining about the heart of Atlantis, you know. He had a torn page, you know, because they found that journal in Iceland. So I guess he took that page, you know. So he tells them, we'll all be rich, you know, we'll all be rich, you know. And so that's what it's about. It's about the money, you know. But Milo is disgusted about him, you know. So they'll take Kita and to take her to to her father, you know, and so Rourke like punches the king, you know, and like I guess that one punch like wounded him greatly, you know. So but he tells him like this symbol here, you know, where is that symbol? Like this here, the other symbol is the letter A, you know. This is supposed to like the heart, but for the heart of Atlantis, will like in the eyes of the king, you know. And he looks in the pond. There's the rocks. It looks like the symbol, you know. So Milo, Kita, and Helga, they'll go down. That's this underneath the cavern, you know, where they see these giant stones, you know, hovering with the crystal in there, you know. And Akita sure stares at, you know, her eyes start glowing, like it's doing the same thing that happens with her mother, you know. It takes her, you know, into the crystal, like she comes like all shiny, like you could say, like I guess you could say like crystal, I guess, you know. And they don't know what's going on though, but Milo's saying it's like the crystal is like alive somehow, you know. So as she comes down, they lock her up in this box, you know, and as they're about to take her away, Milo tells the others, you know, well, hope you're happy, you know. We made this a discovery of a lifetime, but hey, you're all gonna be rich, you know. But that's all ever it is. It's about money, you know. So, but then the main crew, they change their minds. They stick with Milo, you know. And Rourke and Helga, they take in the rest of the men. They start driving off across the bridge. They blow up the bridge, you know. So they found another way to stop them, you know. Which, before that though, the king is telling, because he has like internal bleeding, gets a one punch game, like internal bleeding, I guess. So he cannot be saved. The king tells Milo that the crystal is like a life, because it has like over the times that how the king used the thing. We originally used the crystals for war, you know, which started the tidal wave, you know, led to the destruction of Atlantis, you know, and the thing how it took his wife, you know, and so it has, I guess it has like in a way, it has like the crystal has grew conscious, you know. It took like people that are royal, you know, and they explain that that's how Kita was chosen to, and that she remains bonded to the crystals, they'll lose her, So they said they had to go and save her, So just before the king dies, So they all decided to use the vehicles, showing everyone how to work the things, and so everyone starts driving towards them as they try to escape from blowing out the top from the volcano, make an opening through the volcano, So everyone, and I guess this was supposed to be what a good action sequences, which I do agree. Which I think the action sequences during the last fight, which was really good. Everyone starts flying around. Even the military or the bad guys, they got planes as well. And try taking the box with Kita inside by an air balloon. They all start shooting, guns shooting. And they even got to work the flying vehicles, shooting laser beams out. So everyone starts shooting, but Milo crashes like one vehicle into a balloon. They start losing altitude, and Mork, being such a, I guess you could say, asshole, I guess you could say that, goes and throws Helga off, but she starts fighting him. He's like, I thought we were into this together, he goes the same personal, and throws her off again, and Helga gets like the fire gun and starts shooting at the balloon, causing it to cause on fire. Milo fights Rourke, and he gets like an axe. I guess like somehow way in my mind I was thinking like how he went when Rourke gets like an axe, he got like that for a second glowing behind with that the flames. He had like the crazy eyes. Almost for some reason, I thought it kind of looked like Clayton, from Tarzan, how he had like the devious smile, eyes wide open, I guess I don't know how it's. I guess that was a funny way that was going through my mind. How for a slight second it kind of looked like Clayton, with the crazy eyes, wide open eyes, with a smile, I guess that was like a funny thing that was going through my mind. I don't know. That was just me though, but he hits the one of the glass in the box, and Milo takes like the piece of glass that has some of the crystallized stuff on it, and he cuts him the arm, and it fully turns him into a crystal, and then he gets hit by the propellers and just shatters into pieces, and the thing starts falling down the volcanoes, and it causes it was like a loud noise as the volcano starts erupting, so they try to get the crate back to Atlantis to save the people, otherwise the civilization will die, So as the volcano is erupting, they take the thing back to the box back to the city, and the Kita set free, still in the shiny crystal form, I guess, She uses the power to all the stone heads circling around and around, gets all these giant statues to make a force field or a shield, all around the city to save them from the lava flowing over, So as the lava hardens, but it breaks off, and everybody's free, and you see everything is back to normal, and so after that, Milo always decided to stay in Atlantis, and as his friends, they all get treasures, as a reward. Each one gets a crystal, and they said, well, they'll remember him, when they'll miss him, and they all promise to keep the city a secret, and as the rest of the crew, as they take pictures with the treasure, like they make some, like one picture, they cut themselves, try to spray this. They didn't find Atlantis though, and they're all back at Mr. Whitmore's house, and they're saying that we didn't find nothing, just rocks, or how the Hilgo or Rourke, how they ended up got missing, you know, and Milo died in the submarine, you know, they didn't find nothing, you know. Although some pictures they see with Milo with Kita, you know, and Mr. Whitmore got a gift from for Mr. Whitmore was a picture of when Milo was a kid, standing next to his grandfather with the message and a crystal necklace, you know, because he said that he wanted at least one piece of proof that Atlantis does exist, and he gave him that crystal necklace, saying, hope this piece of proof will do good for you, you know. Signed by Milo, you know. And all the other members of they all have like fancy suits, like they're right now rich, you know. So, and it ends with Milo and Kita, that they put they carve the face of Kita's father on the next stone, you know, to go up with the other ones. I guess those other ones are like faces of previous kings, I guess, you know. So I guess Kita is now the queen of Atlantis, I guess, you know, and as they stand with all the view as the Atlantis the view of Atlantis and all the stones hover over, you know. I really do enjoy the film. I really do, you know. I don't think it didn't deserve those mixed reviews, you know. I think it should have made more money than I expected, you know. Back in the day, I think it should have made more money, you know. It doesn't deserve to be considered a disappointment, you know. $84 million in the U.S. on a budget of $120 million. Yeah, like I say, it made more money overseas. The total overall is $186 million, but it still was not that big of a hit they expected it to be, you know. I don't understand why, you know. It should deserve to make more money, you know. But at least some people, well, at least people praise the animation, because it is, like I said before, it's a really well done animated film, you know. The action sequences were good, you know, and it's not like typical Disney animation film, you know, where there's no singing involved, you know. It's not a musical. It's just it's just a plain and simple adventure film, you know, treasure hunting adventure film, you know. It wasn't no singing like most of the Disney films, you know, but I thought it was a good thing, and the voice cast really did a good job. Michael J. Fox did a really good job. Cree Summer as Kita was good. James Garner did a really good job as Rourke. Other cast members: Don Novello, Phil Morris, and especially the other ones. Leonard Nimoy did good as well, you know, as the king, and Jim Varney once again for his last film, you know, he did good, you know. He did really good for his last film performance, you know. And Jim Varney, he'll be missed, you know. The film was on for like 95 minutes, but it did go at a good pace, you know. It wasn't slow, you know, and didn't get boring, you know. Like I said, this is a special 2-disc edition. The first disc right here has a visual commentary, you know, that go behind the scenes with the directors and additional footage, the making of the process, you know. Disc 2, Explorer mode, tour the 3D environment of the Ulysses submarine. Tour mode, files mode, deleted scene. Thought there was a making of this thing somewhere, right? I can't seem to find it, you know. But something like this deserves a 2-disc special edition, you know. And even also, really enough, Josh Whedon, who directed the Avengers and also the upcoming Age of Ultron film, he also did an uncredited writing on this film, you know. Which really enough, he did uncredited writing on some other films as well. But yeah, the Josh Whedon, the director of the Avengers and Age of Ultron, was an uncredited writing on this film, you know, like he did with Speed and Twister, you know, Waterworld, X-Men. Yeah, so that's another good for those who like the Avengers, you know. Yeah, so probably now you know that Josh Whedon did uncredited writing on this film. He was an uncredited writer. That's what I was meant to say, you know. I always thought that was kind of funny, you know. Like I said, the animation, well done animation, you know. Action sequences, the characters, the voice cast, the pacing. The music, the score by James Newton Howard was good as well. Like I said, I don't think didn't deserve to. I think it does deserve to be much more big of a hit than it did, you know. And 49% on Rotten Tomatoes, way too low for this film. Way too low. 6.7 is good, is decent though, but I wish it was, but it's also too low. I wish it could be much more higher, you know. So yeah, but at least you know I liked at least glad that Roger Ebert gave this film a lot of praise, you know. And like I said, I like Roger Ebert, you know. I agree some things he says, and I disagree on some things that he says, but I like him because he's a really great, in retrospect, he's a really great film critic, you know. And I'm glad he gave this film a lot of praise, you know. Because this film deserves it. I think it's like a tad bit underrated, you know, because from how it underwhelmed the box office, you know. But a lot of people probably feel the film gives mixed emotions because probably people don't like the film, you know. Some people do like the film a lot, and some people don't, I guess. But yeah, but also, of course, and also I forget that it has gained a cult favorite over time, you know, and it released a direct-to-video sequel, you know, Atlantis: Milo's Return in the year 2003. Most of the original cast comes back except for Michael J. Fox, you know, didn't come back as Milo, and of course Jim Varney, because he was dead by then, got a different voice actor to do as Cookie, you know. And I guess also since the film didn't do well at the box office, I guess they canceled a spin-off series, you know, called where is that? I'm trying to look where it is. Yeah, they canceled the spin-off series, you know, and also a underwater attraction at Disney's Disneyland theme park, you know. Yeah, I guess they were building an underwater attraction at Disneyland, and since the film didn't do that well at the box office, they canceled that, you know, and a spin-off TV series. So yeah. But I guess also for the direct-to-video sequel, Milo's Return, I guess it would probably consider a film because they add 3 segments, I guess that was supposed to be in the TV show, but they put them all together to make it into a movie, you know. I guess that's what it was. I guess it took the 3 segments that were supposed to be 3 episodes in that canceled TV show, but they put them all 3 of them together to make it into a direct-to-video sequel, I guess. But yeah. But I'm glad I have this film. It's a good I've always been a fan of Walt Disney, you know, and I guess I know there's some I guess there are a lot. I love most of these animated films, but of course there are some things I haven't liked. I don't like every. No anime film is that perfect. There's gonna be some anime films I don't like, you know, or don't care for, to be more specific, you know. But I'm glad I have this, you know. And 2-disc edition. I think I'm fine with a 2-disc edition now. I would be fine with the single though, because the disc 2 doesn't seem to have like for what I'm reading here, it doesn't seem to have a making of it, or you know, but like interviews with the actors and you know, or the directors, you know. But I'm fine with this 2-disc edition, you know, and I like that. I prefer this cover is fine, you know. I would prefer to see for this cover to have to have the theoretical release poster, you know. But I'm fine with this cover because look at this cover looks like it's a well done animated film, you know. So yeah, so that's my review for Atlantis, the Lost Empire, you know, and hope some of you who requested me to do this film, there you have it, you know. You guys, some of you guys were wanting me to review this film. Now you have it. And I hope you think that I did a good job of it. You know, I did the best I could, and I think I explained it perfectly well. You know. So that's my review for Atlantis: The Lost Empire. If anyone still hasn't seen it, go check it out for yourself. Thanks for watching, and take care, and stay tuned for the next movie review. Later.